Progressives were forward thinkers in many areas of American life. But in race relations, they mostly lagged behind with the rest of white America. Consequently, black leaders had a paradoxical relationship with the movement. W.E.B. Du Bois was in many ways a progressive himself and joined with white liberals to found the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But he often found himself on the other side of progressive issues and candidates.
Du Bois's relationship with the white progressives is a beleaguered one. Of course, the progressives had the luxury of great patience as they advocated civil rights for African Americans.
One of the hardest things for us to understand and accept about the progressives is their willingness to support, even lead the movement for the segregation of African Americans in the South. And they did it not really as a contradiction of their own beliefs, but as a part of their own beliefs. They wanted a more stable society. They wanted a society that wouldn't break down in conflict. Their fear was that in the South, above all, there was the beginning of a race war, that if the races were not separated, ultimately African Americans, like Native Americans, could be wiped out. And so they pushed for segregation. I think progressives were both radical and centrist at the same time because they did want, on the one hand, a stable country. They were radical in the sense, I think, that they were willing to change so much of the outlook on life that they'd inherited. They'd grown up in an individualistic Victorian culture that encouraged you to believe you could make it on your own. And they felt finally that they had to give that up, that you had to be willing to sacrifice a good bit of individual freedom if this country was going to survive and thrive under capitalism. The governments of various kinds had to be more powerful, had to control more of individual lives if the country was going to succeed.